Hi, this is the first time I've actually gone live on my YouTube channel. So, what I really wanted to do was to talk to you about a bit about astrology. So, astrology is one of my favorite things when I'm looking at what's going on in the world. But I also wanted to do some ancestral clearing with you. And so, when I'm thinking about what's going on in the world, I'm thinking about the Pluto Saturn conjunction. Okay, so next week, which is around about the 3rd, 4th of April, it's going to come into our experience in a much stronger way. And as I'm recording this, as I'm going live on this, we've got something quite big going on in the world. And some people call it, the virus that's going around. So it's called COVID-19. So basically what's happening is there's a lot of fear in the world. There is a lot of drama. There are a lot of people very unwell. But what I'm really feeling about this, and those of you that know me really well will know that I don't do fear. I don't really think about that. I look at the positives of what is happening in the sense of change. And one of the things that I wanted to share was that as we're going into this Pluto Saturn conjunction, and Jupiter's also going to be really expanding this as well, is if we can look at what Pluto is, it's really about everything we've brought in from other lifetimes to clear. So when we're thinking about where that is in our chart, have a look at where that is in your chart, and you can go to free channels like astro.com or AstroDienst, which is one I really like. And you can put in your name, date of birth, place, everything, and have a look at where Pluto is. Because that will give you which house it's in, because that will give you an indication of what is going to be clearing for you in this particular experience that we're having at the moment. So from a meta health perspective, we're looking at what's going on in the lungs. Well, lungs to me, from meta health, from the science, I'm known as a spiritual scientist. So I kind of like to incorporate the spirit and the science. Lungs to me are about the fear of survival. Okay. So it's about how we feel we can survive. So if we look at Pluto, we're looking at what have we brought in from other lifetimes that was really, really difficult. So sacrifices, being killed, all sorts of, kind of really difficult experiences that we probably passed over with, so being hung, all those sorts of things. And right now at this time of great expansion, and that's what Jupiter brings in, a great expansion for us all, right at this time is the time really to clear up those parts of us that are left feeling the fear of survival. So when we're thinking about astrology and we're thinking about what's going on in our experience, we're thinking about what do we need to heal? What do we need to bring up to be released? And those people that are really suffering at the moment, really, really suffering, will have a vibrational match within their lungs, within their experience, that is holding fear. Okay. And there's no judgment with that, and when I say this with complete love and compassion. I don't say this as they're wrong, they're bad. I'm just saying that that's what's coming up to be healed. And so those people that have done the inner work, lots of inner work, will be maybe experiencing a bit of a cold, but that kind of happens anyway around the new moon, around the equinoxes, things like that. So, we probably would have had that anyway. But it's the ones that are really experiencing deep difficulties within their breathing, within their lungs, within the body, that are really releasing a huge amount of fear. Now, I know that many people have been thinking about, this is really scary, this is really fearful. And I can imagine if you are in a situation where you can't breathe, that is going to be scary. It's going to be scary for anybody, especially if you have asthma or any underlying condition. And I get that. And I Do not, I'm not thinking about it lightly. I'm not thinking about it from the perspective of, it's not a difficult thing for people, because it absolutely is. And I feel that next week with this Saturn Pluto conjunction, things are going to come to a peak. And my guides, have been talking to me for quite a while about this and saying that, we will come to this peak, but we're going to come out of it the other side, and it's going to be like almost like a new golden earth. And so with this golden earth, we're all going to be expanding who we are. And so when we also look at the Saturn aspects, if I talk about that, I'm being guided to talk about that now, that's really about things that are coming up in our world. So wherever Saturn is in your chart, whichever house it is, go back to astro.com or AstroDience and have a look at it. Wherever that is, that's also about all the things that we feel that we can lose. So the fear of loss. So Pluto is very much all those lifetimes that we've brought in to heal in this lifetime and to clear around the fear of survival. And then Saturn is very much about the fear of loss. And of course, we've had this whole stuff going on in the shops, definitely in the UK here, but all over the world, where there's been a shortage of bread, toilet rolls, eggs, the major stuff, milk, whatever it might be. And so people have felt, oh my goodness, I have this fear that I cannot get what I need. And so there's been a lot of panic buying and so on going on here, definitely in the UK. And I know I have, I work internationally on Zoom, on all my different groups, and they're all talking to me about the similar kind of vibration that's going on in the world. So, it's basically global, the fear that's happening. So what I really wanted to do was to have this discussion and talk to you, but also to help you release some of this ancestral fear. Because actually, when so we come into this world, and this is just my opinion and what my guides tell me, so feel free to have your own thoughts and opinions about it, but my opinion is that we come in to this world and that we experience a childhood that we chose. And that might be difficult for some people to hear, but we chose those experiences because that was part of our mission. But the things that happened in our childhood were not the cause, they were the trigger of all of the times before. So we've got our epigenetics, which is the thought forms that we've brought in, which in my opinion is formed way before, we'd even know that we were pregnant. So it's definitely not just from the mother. It's from the mother's mothers, the father's fathers, and all of the lifetimes. And the brain relays in a baby are kind of created between 10 and 21 days. So you come into this world, you choose your parents, you're conceived, you start to grow, and between 10 and 21 days, all of your brain relays, this is the science bit, are formed. So quite often, I'm a mother of 2 children, and quite often you wouldn't know that you were even pregnant. Okay, so epigenetically, we've brought in with us the thought forms of all of our times before, so our ancestors before. So when we're doing that, we can think of it that way, that actually we don't consciously know what we've brought in with us, but we can actually start to see in our outside world what is reflecting back to us. Okay, and you will hear people in your family say, well, you're just like your mother, or just like your grandparents, or you're just like somebody way back in the family. Well, that might be genetically as well, but thought forms and epigenetics is more what I'm interested in. I'm more the kind of the spiritual science side of things. So when we're thinking about that, we're looking at, what have I brought in to this childhood experience that I needed to experience so that I could stand on my mission? And some of you have had mission readings with me where the guides come in and help you understand that and give you what you need about your mission. And other aspects are what experiences have I brought in from other lifetimes and of my ancestors so that I could heal the pattern in this lifetime. Now, that to me is really, really interesting. It looks at not just what we look like, not just what we've come in to do as a mission, but what we've also come to do to help our ancestors as well. So quite often when I'm doing work with my clients and my groups, I see the ancestors as sort of towards the left of me clairvoyantly. I see the ancestors lining up. And they're lining up energetically, and I can clairvoyantly see them because it's time for us not only to heal ourselves, but it's also time for us to heal down the ancestral line. Okay. And so when we've done that, when we're clearing down the ancestral line, we're kind of almost like covering all bases. So we're clearing now, we're helping our children and their children and so on into the future of the now, of course, because there's only now. And we're also healing the now of the past. Okay. So if that makes sense to you, then please follow along with me, because I'm going to do a guided visualization meditation, and we're going to do some healing. And some of that will be in the form of sound healing and light language. And this was given to me a few years ago. And what I find with sound healing and light language is it just really cuts through. And so it cuts through all of the thinking, all of the parts of us that thought, oh my goodness, I need to know. Well, actually, you don't need to know. You just need to raise that vibration. And by raising that vibration, you're able to really stand in that place of unconditional love. And then your vibrational match will not be to fear. Okay, so that makes sense. All right, so I'm just going to have a sip of my tea. I'll just show you this cup. This was a cup that my dear Wendy, my lovely assistant, bought me when I visited San Diego last September for the New Media Summit where I was speaking. And she bought this for me when we were in LA, actually. And so I'm having my tea and thinking of Wendy, because I think she's probably going to be asleep at the moment in LA. Okay, so let's just put our hands on our heart. So I'm just going to clear the energy for everybody listening now and anybody listening later on. And please feel free to share this as well if you feel it will help somebody. Create all there is. It's commanded that you pull, clear, cancel and delete on all 4 levels and resolve in the history level. Any waywards, any watchers, any entities, any attachments, any thought forms, anything that does not serve us now, and send it up to unconditional love, allowing us, including myself, to be a pure, clear channel for source. Tis done, tis done, tis done. Thank you, show me. Good. Okay, good. So I'd like you to put your hands on your heart as I am. And if you can't see me, I've got my hands kind of on my higher heart. And I want you to close your eyes. I'm going to probably keep mine open for the purpose of this video. And I want you just to breathe into your heart center. Fantastic. And sometimes it helps just to imagine a beautiful light in your heart center. Just imagine that beautiful light and expand that light every single time that you breathe. So just imagine expanding. Good. Breathe. And I want you just to expand it so that you can see, almost like you can see your body is filling up with light, expanding, connecting. Brilliant. And so imagine that your body was just this light. So you can see the outline of your body, but you can't really see your body anymore. You can just see it as light. Fantastic. And then I want you to imagine that there's a beautiful star underneath your feet. And this is your Earth star. And a beautiful star above your head. And this is your soul star. And then I want you to imagine a beam of light coming down from your soul star all the way through you down to your Earth star. Fantastic. And then I want you to imagine that your Earth star goes further down into Mother Earth, into the Earth. And you start to feel more grounded and safe. Fantastic. And your soul star above your head starts to go higher up into the universe. If you imagine it going up into the sky, we have a beautiful blue sky today here in the UK with sun now. And just imagine that soul star rising higher and higher and connecting with the universe, and some of you the multiverse, some of you the galactic beings. Whew, good. And just come back to your heart center. So I want you now to invite in all of your guides and all of your ancestors. My goodness, so I can see almost like an auditorium with rows and rows and rows and rows of people. And they're all gathering around us. So I see us all like a circle of light. And I see the ancestors gathering around everybody in sort of anticipation of the release that they will experience, and so will you. And I want you just to feel into yourself now as you're sitting here. Just feel into yourself where you feel any ancestral resonance. You know, and that could be fear. That could be a feeling of unrest. And in some cases, it may be panic, and that's okay. It's just energy. And I want you just to feel into that. And then I want you just to experience and receive as my guides step in. And I feel that light language will be coming and sound healing as well. So I'm just going to close my eyes for a moment as they all step in. So the sense I'm getting here is very much that this was divinely guided, that I haven't done a YouTube live before, and it was divinely guided so that I could reach more people with this, and that the guides are very pleased and excited that you are all here. And even if you're listening to the replay later, even if it's years later, this will be also very relevant for you at that time. Okay, good. So the first thing, the first beings that are coming in are the Palladian Collective, and they are stepping in here, and how I experience them is beautiful, silvery, bluish white beings that stand in front of me. And we wish for you to imagine when the tone comes in, for your whole body to be lit up in sort of like a magenta light, a sort of a pinky purple light with sparkles. And what they're coming in to do here is they're actually coming in to release any resentment. Okay, so the first thing they're going to do is come in and release resentment. So here we go. So just close your eyes and just receive. And this tone, this light codes, this light language will come in and release all resentment of not being or feeling protected, they tell me. Okay, and this will be for your ancestors as well. And so what I was getting a sense of there, whilst that tone was coming in, was that the kind of dialogue and language I was feeling from the ancestors was, yes, we didn't feel protected, we didn't feel safe in the world, and it's time for this to be released from Earth now. So all of you that are living here at this moment in time, you were meant to release this. You were meant to let it go. It was meant to happen, and the ancestors are very pleased about that. Okay, so the Acturians step in here, and the Acturians are coming in, and they're saying to me that they're coming in from the perspective of healing that part of your chart, the Pluto part, so the part of all of the lifetimes that you've brought in where there've been the fear of survival, and so they're helping you with that. So we're just going to bring the Acturians in, and as they come in, they show themselves to this side, so the left side, whereas the Pleiadians always come in on the right, but the Acturians are coming in here on the left, and they come in and they show themselves as little happy gold people. That's how I see them anyway. And I see them gathering, and they hold up tablets of lifetimes. So when I say tablets, it's almost like they are stories etched in stone tablets. And as these etchings are there, I'm not reading them or seeing them in that sense, but I sense that they're holding them all up to be healed. So just receive this language, okay? And just feel this release within your body, within your field, and for the ancestors. Ishkala, 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 Ishkala. Ishkala atiti toto tu ishkala ish ishkala 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 atiti toto tu ishkala ish ishkala 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 ish ishkala 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 atiti toto tu. Okay, take a deep breath. Okay, that feels good. Okay, all right, so I'm seeing less ancestors here now, but I still see some, and Mother Mary steps in here. So Mother Mary works with me, coming through me as a channel, and she helps people to heal the childhood parts of them. So the suffering child, the part that needed to experience suffering in this lifetime. And I'm seeing the ancestors gathering quite tightly now around you all, and it's almost like they're just coming in with so much love because they really want to be released from this, but they want you to be released from it. So just imagine all your beautiful ancestors gathering, and Mother Mary is stepping in here. So what I was seeing there was, as she was stepping in, was she was holding all of the suffering children, and there were actually quite a lot of babies. So I was seeing her hold the baby selves of you all, and really healing that part of you that, and I'm seeing now kind of in the womb, so that part of you that came in and needed to experience what you experienced because you chose it, but you also needed to come in and heal it for the ancestors. And I'm just still seeing a couple of ancestors here, so let me just ask about this. So yeah, okay, thanks. So what my guides are saying to me is that this is the next bit of work that we're going to do is the bit of work. So thank you. Yeah. So they're explaining to me that as Jupiter comes in and expands, so Jupiter expands everything. Okay. So have a look at, after this, where Jupiter is in your chart. Because at the moment, for the whole of this year, it is expanding Capricorn, because it's Jupiter in Capricorn this year. So it's expanding everything wherever Capricorn is in your chart. But have a look at where Jupiter is in your chart as well, because it's also going to be expanding that. And what I'm hearing is that what we're going to do now is release all of the beliefs around hard work. Okay. So you might have been brought up that you need to work hard. You need to work really hard, and you're not going to get anywhere unless you work really hard. And of course, that isn't true. When you are in alignment with your mission and you are loving what you do, then it isn't like work, and so therefore it is not hard. Okay, that doesn't mean you don't focus, doesn't mean you don't spend the time and really reach your collective group. It just means it's not hard. Okay, so I can see some ancestral men here actually, and sort of working on the land and feeling that it was sweat and toil and hard work, and I feel like we need to release the hard work belief. Okay, so one of the things that I do with my groups is I teach how to know whether something is running. Okay, so I'm just going to do that here just briefly. So the way that I do it with kinesiology is, if something is true and running in our field, I get my fingers staying together. So I do a statement to get a yes and a no. And then when basically there is something that's true in your field, in my case, it means it holds together and it comes apart if it's not true. Yours might be the other way around. So just check that now. I'll give you 1 moment to check that. So you've got a good yes and a good no. If not, go back over and watch this later. So I want you to check work is hard. Okay, so just check work is hard. And if it holds together, or your yes is holding together, then you know that you're running the belief that work is hard. Okay, all right. So we're just going to clear that. So I just want you just to connect with that. And where do you feel that in your body? And I'm just looking at these ancestral men here. Okay. Okay, good. Creator, all that is, it is commanded that you pull, clear, cancel, and delete on all 4 levels and resolve on the history level. For everyone listening here and anyone listening to the replay, work is hard, and release it from all timelines, all experiences, and the ancestral line. Good, they've gone now. Any lifetimes, any timelines, any planets, anything seen, anything unseen, anything known, anything unknown, anything we can perceive, anything we can't perceive, or we haven't experienced it, to release it all now from the vibrational field. Good. And from the body. Okay, good. Allowing the crystalline light field to shine and sparkle more brightly. Allowing you to stand more fully in your mission. Allowing you to realize that life is a joy and that you can step forward now in this lifetime and expand your Jupiter, expand that part of you in your chart where you are meant to shine. You are meant to thrive, and you are meant to help others do the same. Okay, so just take a deep breath. Yeah, okay, thank you. So my guides are giving here, we're just going to clear any agreements, okay, that are held in the Akashic records. So the badges are joining in here. So we're going to clear any agreements. Clear, transmute, delete, 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 delete. Anything that is not of your free will, thank you. Any entities, any waywards, any watchers, any attachments that have come in and showing themselves now to be released. Okay, so there's a lot of you with, I feel like, pressure on your back. So just release all of that, all of the responsibility. Ooh, good. And then come back. And so how does it feel now? How do you feel? Do you feel a bit lighter? Do you feel a bit freer? Would you like to see more of these videos? Would you like to be part of an ongoing YouTube channel and join me? And would you like to receive more healing? Just let me know. I don't know how to do these. I'm just going to say something here. Just going to say hi and see if anyone can say anything, because I can see there are 6 of you watching, a few of you watching, but I can't see how to chat to you. So I'm definitely new to this. Hold on, participants, let me have a look. Yeah, I don't know how to do this, so someone's going to have to help me with this, but I hope you found it helpful. I hope you really enjoyed it, and please share my channel with whoever you feel drawn to share it with, so that we can spread the love. And just remember that today we've cleared all of your ancestors from feeling that fear of survival and that part of them that was just waiting. Oh, hi. Hi. Oh, they've all come up now. Hi, Chantel. Hi, Sue. Hi, Susan. Hi, Torgan. Hello. Hi. Yeah, see, like, I had no idea how to do this. I've never gone live on YouTube before, but one of the reasons why I did was because Facebook have changed their algorithms, and it's just, I can't download my videos anymore. I can do them live, but I can't download them onto my YouTube channel. So yeah, so I wanted to share like this. Anyway, thank you so much. Let me know how you're doing, what you felt about it. Did you feel anything? Did you feel a release? And check, and obviously if you're still running, work is hard, then there's some other layers there and some other levels. And if anyone's new to my channel, just go to my website, which is susankennard.co.uk, and you'll find it in the footnotes here when I publish this. And yeah, and also go to my podcast, which is called The Spiritual Awakener, which actually is launching this week, which is kind of, I'm looking at my Jupiter, where my Jupiter is my chart, and I start training in astrology this week. So I can't wait to do that. My tribe is going to be receiving free astrological charts, because I've got to do that for my training. So I'm really excited about that. I need 12 people. So I need to read their charts once I've kind of got the hang of it. But I go very much on my my intuitive sense of astrology. So I'm going with what my guides are giving me and what I'm seeing in astrology, but I can't wait to really kind of remember it better, okay, than I know now. Oh, Sue, a huge release in my heart. Yeah, I think that it was really important. I think this whole Pluto thing to do with the ancestors and what we brought in from other lifetimes was really important for us to clear today. It, you know, it just goes to show that we never really get it done. We just have to constantly be there and be open to releasing and healing ourselves. So thanks very much. Thanks for joining me. And you know, if you want me, hi Stacey, if you want me to do any more of these, just let me know. Okay, much love. See you soon.